Hey, how's everybody doing? Back with another episode with Brian, also known as Marvel Cards Up. What's going on, man? We haven't caught up in a little bit.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Not much. How about you?
Just hanging out, doing my thing, trying to navigate the salty waters of the hobby.
Yeah, so I think you wanted to talk about one of the things we were going to talk about was the Upper Deck replacement program, I believe, right?
Oh shit. Yeah. That one was that one's been bugging me a lot. And it sucks because it seems like every year I always talk about it and nobody gives a shit. But apparently, um for the replacement program, they're not going to be replacing PMGs anymore, which it's just a weird thing to me, right? They're easily the most damaged cards.
Mhm.
They're the most chased cards out of those sets. And if they stop replacing PMGs, but keep ripping their own product before the retail release for their sample size, I think that's what they
Mhm.
call it. The
Yeah. Yeah, I would call it
which is a
that too
whole
if I was ripping my own boxes.
Yeah, which is stupid in itself, you know? It's stupid in itself because, like, if I have 10 boxes of something and I tell you the odds of hitting, XYZ is 1 in 5 boxes, and then I rip 2 of those boxes before retail, after packaging, after pack odds, and I pull that hit, well, guess what? Now the odds are wrong.
Mhm.
And people still think they're right.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember when we broke that
You
down.
remember when I was trying to like break
Yeah.
that down a while ago, right? And that's what Upper Deck does. Um, they don't buy their product on the secondary market. They sample their product after it's packaged, after the odds are calculated, and then release it to retail. And they end up with all these damn cards for replacement program.
Now, to your point, and here's what I don't, and if you could clarify this for me. When you say they're not going to replace PMGs, are you talking about in like from future sets or even from sets that have already been released?
I don't know if it's gonna be backdated.
Okay.
I would think it's gonna be backdated. Um, Now, if they stop doing that, right? Let's just say they specifically target PMGs. And let's say you know, I have a random card out of like 299 that's torn and I send that in. Am I going to get a PMG back that they just happen to have sitting in their drawer? Because those knuckleheads, they have like out of 10, they have 101s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things they shouldn't even have at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that whole thing is just stupid as hell, right? They need to just stop the replacement program, right?
Mm.
If I got a bunk box, you know what? I don't want hits, right? So, for example, I bought my first Spider-Man metal box a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I didn't buy it. I traded for it. I traded a bunch of graded stuff for it. And I ripped it and didn't get shit. All I got were golds and grandies. No palladium, no numbered cards, nothing. Right? So I emailed them and they sent me back like whatever. But what I would have much rather had is an option just to get refunded.
Well, I knew you might have gone there, but this is where my question for that scenario. Let's say I open a box, and to your point, if it's a dud box, it'd be cool to just get a replacement or either a replacement box, meaning, or a refund, like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
But what happens if I open said box and I pull a green PMG and it just happens to be fucking like chipped to hell or cornered? If they're no longer replacing PMGs, but I also don't want a refund on my box because obviously the hit is way worth
Yeah,
way
you're
more than what.
screwed. You're
Yeah,
screwed. You're gonna send that green in and you're gonna get back, you know, some sketches or something else, right?
Okay.
Because apparently they're not replacing those anymore. Or they're just going to flat out tell you no.
Mm.
It
Wow.
could be either one. And that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I think that's just really bad decision making on their end. Um, and that's par for the course over the last like 2 years. There's been some god awful decisions being made over
Mm.
there. You know, blast furnace or not blast furnace, ambers and the new masterpieces set. Like, who the fuck wanted that? That's a
Mm.
Fleer Ultra insert. They're trying to shove into a beautiful masterpieces set. That's
Yeah.
the decisions over there just kind of irritate me.
Now, in regards to the replacement program, did they even have that upper deck for all the other types of products, like sports and all that, or was it exclusively for Marvel? Yeah. Oh, okay.
They got it for all of them.
And they're still continuing on the other ones.
As far as like the PMG goes, let's say for like hockey, I
Mhm.
have no idea.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if I would guess. I would guess yes, but on the same token, I have a bunch of hockey PMGs, and the quality on those are way better than the Marvel ones.
Mm.
I mean, they actually sharpened the cutting boards to cut those.
That's weird. That's weird, right? Because they're coming from the same place. I would assume and they're made by the same company.
I don't know if they're coming from the same place. I think they outsource hockey to a Canadian company
Oh, okay.
to do the packaging and cutting, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they send Marvel to the same place.
Mm.
I have no idea. But like for their last metal set that they came out with, the NHL metal, uh, dude, it's incredibly apparent the differences in quality.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen a lot of the PMGs for hockey but I have, like the older ones from '97 metal, like the Kobe's, the Jordans, and even from when you could see on those, like it's tough to get those in high grade in general as well. Like
Oh yeah,
most of the ones you see are like sevens, sixes, some eights.
way tough, way
Yeah.
tough.
So yeah, that's just what and I brought this up. I was talking to Doom about just the quality control of the new MM set, and how they use a thicker stock for that product, and he was just like, yeah, but where it's like it's historical that it's always damaged or some it's hard to grade. It's what he was explaining. But my thing is, how do you not improve on something after so many years?
Well,
That's what I don't get.
for thick cards, I think it's tougher. I think it is a little bit tougher. Just from like putting yourself in the shoes of a card that thick being inside the pack, right? For masterpieces, you get 3 cards per pack. They're thick, they're rubbing, you know. For regular cards, they tend to sit a little bit better on the stack when there's like 8 or 9,
Mhm.
right? So I don't think there's a lot of shifting. Like if you notice with X-Men metal and Spider-Man metal, there's like a tiny little curve on the edges. And I think that helps. I don't think it's done on purpose to help them not move, but they sit.
Oh, it worked out that way.
Yeah, I think it worked out to where like they just sit better. Of course, okay, if you're throwing boxes around, the shit's gonna move around. Um, but I think that's one big thing. The other thing is there's 8 corners, 8 apparent corners, right? Like all cards have 8 corners, but for the thicker stock, they grade harder on those additional back corners.
And you know what's crazy? Like this whole talk about, just either QC or the replacement program for Upper Deck. It's crazy how you could have the other side of it. I was talking briefly, texting back and forth with your boy. Your collection is bigger than mine, and we are talking about Star Wars and tops, right? And that's an example of a company that's putting out great product, great artwork, great QC. Like most of those cards, 9 or 10 for the most part.
for the
right?
most part.
My problem with them now is they're just pumping out too many damn one of ones. That's the issue now. So I feel like you're devaluing. Did I lose you there? I think I lost Brian.
No,
You good? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you're just devaluing the one of ones, I feel. Like now, if you notice, so many one of ones are in the market that the ones that are going to get picked up are just the ones that are just clearly way better looking because there's just so many of them. Like there's no reason to have a one of one for every damn scene or cut scene. You know what I mean? It's too many.
100%. I was just about to say the psychology, if you will, behind them doing that is this whole like parallel to hell type
Mhm.
of deal where they think they need 100 different parallels for every single card. And when you have 200 card sets, 140 card sets, 90 card sets, it's just way too many parallel. You take the special out of it,
Yeah.
you know? Um, they definitely should only certain one-on-one and not even tell people. They should make that the hunt, you know? Like, hey, we got a 90 card set, but guess what? There's only 20 one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Everything else is out of 10,
Yeah.
right? Go down to like 10. And I think in their heads, obviously they're businesses, they need money.
Yeah.
One-on-ones fetch big money. Everyone's going to chase one-on-ones. If you have 200 one-on-ones, you're going to have more people buying your product to chase those one-on-ones.
But to counter that, like a good example is that recent Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set because it only had the one of one,
That's it.
right? And it's still, to your point, it was still very sought after. Hey,
Yeah.
the only thing I will say, I feel bad for the people that were stocking those boxes, thinking that, hey, the value of these are going to keep increasing until that's pulled, and it was pulled right away.
Oh man, that shit was just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, which yeah. Like 2018 masterpieces, I think the Red Spectrum Wolverine is still alive.
Oh, that's right.
As soon as that shows its face, I think those boxes are going to come down a little bit,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's also like the the con of having numbered cards is that once the hits are pulled, I mean, similar to sports, right? When everybody was chasing the logo man,
Mhm.
uh, as soon as that was pulled, I don't know what the price is tanked by, but I'm sure by a significant amount.
Yeah, of course, cuz nobody wants the logo man of like some guys who sit on the bench,
Yeah,
you know. Um there's better decisions I think that could be made with these companies, with all of them, you know. They could go back to just doing a base set
hmm
with one parallel and then have all the inserts numbered, you know.
yeah,
Have a like two or three different insert designs and those are the numbered cards, you know.
yeah,
Like there's so many different ways to make stuff special and to reward us for the hunt,
yeah,
and they just seem to be sucking it right out of us.
yeah, yeah. I do feel that way, even with a lot of the product that's recently been released. It's just it doesn't feel. I don't want to say special, but it just doesn't feel as um, I don't know. I don't know what the word for it is, right? Like
Special.
The Fleer Ultras, yeah, it probably is special, right? Like 2013, 2015,
Yeah.
um,
Special
all
sets.
the inserts. And I don't know, but that's the thing, right? I don't know if we think it's special now because it's older product, quote unquote, but I just think they nailed those sets, for the most part. Like all the inserts on those are crazy, like the 90 Impel inserts,
Yeah.
the autos,
So
I,
imagine like 13 retro with four different base parallels. That shit would have just sucked,
yeah,
you know? Nah, here's your base set. Here's your retro autos that some are short print, some are not. We're not going to tell you how many they're made. You're just going to have to hunt them, You know, here's your incredibly awesome inserts like Intimidation Nation or Ultra
Mm.
Stars or Hardware,
Quick
right?
strikes.
We're not going to tell you how many there are. When they're gone, they're gone, right? That feels special when you're able to find, for example, Ian. He put together the whole auto set.
Shout out to Cards of Metal. Yeah.
Yeah, for Cards of Metal. Big shout out to him. He put together the auto set. I think it was for 13. He was missing one card for like years. And he
Oh
found it,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
those are tough.
and it was a Loki, I think, if I remember right. And it's like they only made 10, or
Yeah.
some crazy
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Say anything. So the hunt is on,
Mhm.
right? I think that's how you get back to making stuff special. I don't need a fucking blue, red, burgundy, pink, purple, fuchsia. I don't need that shit. That's just
Yeah.
me, my
No,
opinion.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I just want good quality cards and a set that feels special. That's all it is. Even masterpieces, man. Like purple and orange, I think that's too much. There should just be one parallel, just an orange, right? Make it so that the whole base set could be also 99, right? That
Oh,
would be awesome. You're one of 100 people who can own that set.
yeah.
Beautiful. That's super special.
Yeah. Yeah, and not and even inside of 100, not 100 people are going to own the whole entire set, but at least you hypothetically have the shot at
You can
doing
try,
so. Yeah,
and it would be a tough hunt.
and it's funny you mentioned that too, man, because you know, how usually for at least for me, like I remember when 2020 X-Men Metal was coming out, and I wasn't really excited about it either. Like I didn't like the design, but then looking back, that to me was probably the last good set that came out.
That
You
was
know,
a really good set.
and they did it right with the to your point, like they kept only the greens and the reds, PMGs.
Yep.
There was no blues, there was no other colors. I love the fact that on the achievements it was like the blue one was dope. The blue to me, the blue looked the best, I'm sure, but then again, I've never seen a black in hand. Um,
Yeah. Blacks were I didn't particularly like the blacks because they looked more like window tint instead of like a black.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, blues just amazing.
Yeah, the platinum portraits, and then I don't even know. To your point, I don't even know what the platinum portraits are out of on the Spider-Man metal. I know for the X-Men, most people thought it was like 30 or under for sure, right?
Uh, if I remember right, I think there's a couple guys who did the math on it, like the rough math, and
Mhm.
it's probably in that range between like 25 and 35. I
Yeah,
would think.
yeah.
Just and that's a good range.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man is. I would say. I mean, again, I don't know if anybody's done the math, but I would assume at least double those numbers,
It would have to be
right?
because it was double the print run.
And then they even changed that on the planet metals. They even changed the goals were out of 15. They were out of 10 before. Why not keep them out of 10?
Because they have people making bad decisions. And that's it all just comes down to that. They're bust their ass. It's nothing against them personally,
Mhm.
but collectively, when they make a decision, I think they're bad decisions.
Yeah.
They messed up a totally beautiful set, right? So the most simplest thing, the foiling on X-Men, the base cards, beautiful foiling, somewhat of a rainbow foil, and then you get over to Spider-Man and it's like a matte, uh, like it's like the inside of a Coke can. It's just a flat, uh, metal look. They took all the special stuff out of X-Men metal. They threw it out the window to do something that looks way when they could have just kept the same recipe. And then the base would have actually looked awesome, right? My base, it's like shoebox shit.
Hmm.
My Spider-Man metal base, that's
Yeah.
straight up shoebox shit. I don't like it. I don't think it looks good.
Which, on that note, between X-Men Metal and Spider-Man Metal, which comic cut design do you prefer? The X-Men design or the Spider-Man design with the like all the colorful frame?
Also, the X-Men design.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
simple gray. The Spider-Man one is too cartoony for me.
Mhm.
The AF-15 cuts look awesome.
Yeah.
They did a
Yeah.
really good job on those. Um, but the X-Men cuts just look fantastic. I think the sketch card stock for Spider-Man is better than the X-Men stock,
Yeah.
you know? Um,
Yeah, because it took away a lot of like area on the X-Men, like
yeah,
room for the artist.
and it looks cool, like, with the purple and red kind of, like, smoky stuff. I think that looks
Mhm.
kinda cool. But it's like, they coulda had geodes in there.
Mhm.
Geodes were incredible. I would have much preferred the square palladiums instead of the die cut,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know? Little things like that. Like, I don't know if you remember a lot of those Spider-Man die cuts, they're straight up broke out of the pack.
I,
Like,
I never got to open I don't think honestly, besides the comic cut, I don't own any Spider-Man metal at all.
okay, yeah, so they die cut the palladiums like 13,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
On an incredibly thin acetate, like
Um,
just like 13.
so like
Super
so they're brittle or what?
very brittle. A lot of times, I don't want to say a lot of times, but I've seen enough of them pack pulled with broken corners
Mm,
to be suspicious when I pull one myself. Like,
okay.
shit, is it broken?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Whereas the square ones, uh, I like to grade a lot. So they fit better in slabs. They don't move around. Nothing pisses me off when you grade a die cut acetate and it's all sideways in a slab and you can't straighten it out.
Yeah.
Um, I think it looks a little bit more uniform, to have a 3.5 by or a standard card size die cut, or not die cut, acetate,
Yeah.
and you have a little bit more room for the art.
But you know what's frustrating about all this, man? At least to me, when I speak on any of these kind of things, it's like there's really nothing we can do, which is the worst part about it. Like, how long have a lot of people voiced their opinions? I would say during the last 2 years, and what like major changes or improvements have been made since?
Yeah, there's not a lot. All you do is either just like suck it up and throw money at the new stuff, suck it up and buy old stuff,
Mhm.
right? Or if you have a lot of money, you could do like what is it? I know you're in the past you're into TCG, right?
Mhm.
There's a new TCG out called Rise, and it's kind of like a fantasy TCG. Think of like a Diablo slash fantasy,
Mm.
like traditional fantasy art mixed with a little bit of like evil Diablo. Uh, the guy is doing it all himself. He's the artist, he's the designer, right? It
Mm.
has numbered cards. The quality out of all these packs are just incredibly good to the point where when you stack the base cards, he did like a rainbow foil on the edges of the cards. So when they're stacked,
Um,
it looks all like rainbow, like a oil
oyster, like an oysterish
a
effect.
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks amazing.
That's dope.
But he did it all himself. It's very limited. I think he only made like 3,000 boxes. But the point is he was a one man show
Mhm.
and he did at least 3,000 boxes, right? Spider Man Archive 2009, a little over double that. And that was like, that was Rittenhouse. So
Mhm.
it can be done, you know. Then you have licensing issues and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but it definitely can be done if you have the will and the money and the smarts, right? And by smarts, I mean
Understand. I would say understanding on what kind of team to build for the artwork and all that. Like someone that know, like again, you were talking about Rittenhouse. Like, unfortunately for them, they couldn't keep the license, but like everything about what they did, to me at least, seemed purposeful.
Yeah.
I didn't like every single set or every single card, but
Mhm.
what they did, like they did their, you could tell they did their best or attempted, you know,
Right.
and that's not something you feel when you get some of these new sets at all.
And there was like foresight in a lot of their sets, you know?
Mm,
Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna come out with an Ultimate Heroes insert,
mm,
and then we're gonna spread that over 5 years. And
yeah,
that way, these people who just want that set, they're gonna have to hunt out all the additional sets. And it made it fun,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it also kind of, I mean, in the evil genius kind of way, it forced people to buy a product they probably didn't want,
Mm,
right? To get those. But who knows? You know, maybe they bought the product they didn't want and they're like, oh, I like these. These actually are kind of cool.
yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely purposeful. They put their heart into those sets, and you can definitely tell just by the artist selection
Hmm. Yeah.
why the fuck Upper Deck has not gotten Delato or more Scotty Young or more or Alex Ross. Like, why they haven't just ponied up and got these guys to take sets to the next level is beyond me, right?
Mm,
It's totally beyond me. Not taking away anything from like current artists,
yeah.
but instead of having all these recycled sets, why why not issue like a for who I'm sure a lot of people still use binders. What is that? Like nine pages. Why not do like a 36 card e-pack only set of just Scotty Young, all
Never,
original, right?
never done.
It would be incredible, right? Pay the
Yeah.
guy, have dope shit, right? Or Delato,
Yeah.
36 top characters. You're not going to get bottom tier, you know.
Yeah.
As much as I like Lockjaw, he's in way too many sets, man. I
Yeah.
don't want to see the good boy. I
Hey, well, speaking of that, what was that guy you were collecting for a while? Vanisher?
Vanisher,
What's
you know.
up with that guy? Hey, you still got that rainbow?
I love Vanisher, man.
No, I'm saying you still got those cards that you ended up
Yeah, I got
picking?
that shit right here.
Come on, let me see. I haven't seen those in a while. That's crazy.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. And then I got 2 of the 5 comic cuts.
Ooh.
He's just a ghoul, man. He's
Yeah, that's it.
he's funny as hell. I like him. He's got a he's got a tragic story. The
What's the
motherfucker.
story, by the way? I never heard the background on him.
It's not so much the story, it's his will, right? The dude can't win.
No.
He's like a derpy villain.
Oh, okay.
He can't win, but he never gives up,
Yeah.
right? And it's a
Mhm.
good moral for a character, right?
Yeah.
He gets beat down as hard as possible,
Regroups and tries again.
groups and tries again, makes the same damn mistakes, right?
Yeah.
The funniest shit to me. Also, he looks funny as hell, and I like cards that make me laugh, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's why I hunt out this, right?
Yeah.
There's one other wagon comic cut.
But mind you, did you ever get the cut from Arthur? Because he had a cut, right, with Vanisher on it.
Yeah, yeah. So I have mine that I pack pulled,
Mhm.
and then I got the one from Arthur,
Oh,
and then
nice.
there's 3 other from X-Men 2 that I'm
Mhm.
kinda looking for because he
That's
had
good.
5. Can you believe that? That dude had 5 cuts in X-Men, and the one that I really want is him, and he's just in tears. It's the funniest damn cut, right? It's like he just got caught, and he's just crying.
Who has that? Do you at least have any clue, any leads on the cut?
I have no idea. I've
Yeah.
seen it on e-pack, and then it was gone.
Uh, yeah.
So that person either transferred it out or they locked it up because I was badgering them. One of those two.
That's crazy. The fact that you're locking away a Vanisher cut. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
when X-Men won a hella cheap, for anyone listening, there was a time when purple X-Men 101s were like 200 bucks.
That's right. Yeah, you were picking. Yeah.
There was like it was like 200, 300
Yeah.
for bottom tier characters for 101. Real 101, not sketch cards, right? Whole
Yeah.
nother that's a whole nother topic. Um, Real 101s, like 200 bucks. This dude had the Vanisher 101.
Mm.
And I was badgering him for like a month and a half trying to get this fucking card. He wasn't a Marvel guy. He was a hockey or he was a wrestling guy.
Mm.
I offered this dude like 1,500 bucks in cards and he turned me down. So then I switched it up and I offered him like 800 cash and 300 in cards and he turned me down.
That's wild.
Isn't that the wildest shit? And then he
That's
locked
cool.
it up.
That's crazy, man. It
I,
almost seems like he got off on the fact that you're just not gonna get it from him type of thing, which is crazy.
yeah, and then he tried to pull the old, well, I kind of like it. Nah, you don't fucking like it, dude. Nobody likes Vanisher. I am literally the only person on the earth
Yeah,
who would spend much money on that character.
100%. Yeah, yeah, that's messed up, dude. That's crazy. That's yeah.
It's the old oh never mind. I was about to say something mean. But whatever. If you don't collect the characters, don't say you collect the characters. Say you don't want to sell it.
Yes.
Right? That's how it's done. And I'm sure there's a few people who are listening and that is directed right at them.
And you know what's crazy too, man? Like to this whoever this guy was, he obviously didn't take your course on one piece of paper for a lot of pieces of paper. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah. Like
Exactly.
$800. Forget the fact that you on top added $300 in trade value,
And
but
at the
$800 in
time,
cash? That's crazy.
and at that time, that's when those 101s were like 200, 300 bucks. So I was like 4x over what even comps were, what he could possibly have gotten for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
sucks.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I ran into something similar recently, but yeah. I mean, and the crazier thing, at least on your end, which is worse. He's a wrestling guy. I mean, you don't care about Marvel. At least on
No,
mine, it was someone that collects Marvel, but I ended up not getting what they said they would trade me, type of thing.
yeah.
But
I even put a bounty out in the Facebook group. I put a bounty out for the card, like a good bounty. And I can't remember what it was, but it was a lot, dude. It was probably close to like 700, 800 bucks worth of stuff plus cash. And all the messages I got from people trying to get the card, he turned all of them down. Like, what did I need? What did I need? Did I need like an AEW out of 10 or some goofy fucking get man on a card in underwear to like get this card? But
until this day, so how long has it been since you declined all this stuff?
I stopped even looking. I haven't even tried to get it in over like a year and a half. I
Oh,
just stopped
that's
because there's no way I do that now.
yeah, of course.
You know, now I'm content. I like my Vanisher Rainbow that I have. You know, I needed money at one point, so I sold my green, but I kept
Oh,
everything else.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the green for like $100.
Wow. Yeah, like you said, they were just yeah, I remember for a while, and you told me about it too, but yeah, like reds were going super cheap.
Yeah,
Uh greens of like lower tier characters were like almost you gifting them away. Like the cost of the box was higher than those,
yes.
which is
It's
insane.
it's tragic. Yeah, it's tragic. It's we don't put the how can I say that without having somebody message me like to shut the fuck up? We don't put the proper values on things. That's pretty much how I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that somebody made a comment that I think isn't mentioned enough, right? And that's regarding quality. You can't open a pack of cards and everything be nines and tens.
No, of course.
If that was the case, then nothing would be of value, right?
Mhm.
This is why I grade a lot. I want to grade out my sets at the highest possible grade that they can be, right? So my Spider-Man archives,
Yeah.
gem 10, right? Masterpieces, I want nothing below a 9, right?
Yeah.
I'll take 10s when I can get them,
Mhm.
right? But nothing below a 9. 2012 Greatest Heroes, I want all 10s, right? People don't understand that when you open cards, you're only expecting 7s. A 7 is what you should expect. Anything over that is bonus, right?
Yeah, depending on the set. Yeah.
So we should be valuing our cards in the same similar way. When I have like a tier 3 Daredevil from Masterpieces in 2018, and I get a 9 on it, there's no way I'm gonna fucking sell that for $15.
Yeah.
That's what the 7 should be going for more than that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a weird way of valuing our cards, and I don't like it. And it's why I don't sell a lot. Like a lot of people know the shit I have, but they don't know the shit I have,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to sell that stuff
Of course.
because
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
not
that's
worth
because you understand that it's still undervalued, and I think it just goes back to I was having the conversation with shout out Manu, and that's what we're talking about the difference between the comic market and the card market. Like they're established, their values for the most part, unless it's something niche like foreign comics or I don't know wizards in this case, right, or
it.
other things that are just developing markets. Everything is already established, and everybody knows what everything is worth. With cards, 2 years fast forward, we've been saying this for 2 years. Fast forward 2 years, and it's still the same thing. Like, still people still don't understand. Look, I was talking to Doom and Sergio and them, the crew, and we were looking at Silver Spectrum Bianchis of crazy characters, like A tier, B tier characters selling for under $400. But here's what I don't understand, right? To the same point we were just talking about. But then you go try to buy a Bianchi box, and how much is the box? Over a grand?
Yeah,
But you're giving away a case hit for a fraction of the box?
yeah,
That's wild, man. So, I mean,
yeah.
all you could do at that point, from our standpoint is, hey, pick them up, right?
That's all you can do is
Yeah.
just go get them, right?
Mhm.
And to your point, you know, there are people, myself included, that things happen and you need money, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, like last year, I had to get a whole rebuilt engine for my truck.
Oh,
Cost
so
me 12 grand. I had to let shit go. Just a couple weeks ago, one of my cylinders got fucked up, the harness, a bunch of other shit happened, and I needed money. I didn't have it, right? I mean, I had it. It's just I didn't want to be in that position to where I wasn't eating,
yeah.
right? So I let the whole Battle Spectre gem set, right? My PSA graded Spectre gem set, I sold that whole set
Oh, okay.
for 2,500, which
Okay.
is like half of
Yeah.
what even a low price should be considered,
Yeah.
right? But I just needed to make sure that I had the money to do it. And
Yeah, of course.
that was the means to it, right? But there's guys out there selling that set for like 4 grand, 4,500. To me, that's the same thing as a Silver Spectrum at 300,
Yeah.
400, right? It's so criminally undervalued for such beautiful set.
Especially the Bianca. Look, no knock against any other MMR artist, including Jusko, but I'm sure most people would agree. No one's touching Bianchi's signature.
No one. Or
So
his
when we're
art.
talking about, yeah, well, for sure. I mean, but that could be debated by other people. But I agree with you still. But the auto is the one that you can't argue with me that his auto doesn't look better than Palumbo's or Jusko. Stop it.
Yeah, easy.
So when you're talking about silver spectrums, which the auto is the main attraction to getting those cards, why are they doing the numbers that they're doing? I have no clue, man. I just
It's something that I mean I've been really trying to figure it out for a long time.
Dude, shout out. I'll give you here's a steal. This one's going to surprise you if you didn't know this about this one already. But maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, shout out to Jacob, Tired Hobo. He picked up the Gwen What If auto
Saw that.
for $300.
I saw that. And I was so mad that I missed that because that's one of my favorite cards in that set. And I had the money. And I would have easily made him
Sniped
bid.
it. Yeah. And
I mean that should be no less than like $1,500, $2,000. No
yeah,
less.
yeah, at the very least. And that's probably still low, just to be honest with you, because the chances of you pulling that is wild. And the same seller, by the way, on the same auction date, sold the Cyclops for 700.
See, 700 for Cyclops, 300 for Gwen.
Yeah,
All right, what?
yeah. Like,
That's
I mean, the only thing I could think of there is someone like misclicked the bid button on the Gwen, or someone needed the Cyclops to complete their set.
maybe, yeah. And I know there's a couple guys who are trying to do that,
Yeah.
But speaking of Bianchi, though, like this will never be sold.
Oh yeah, that's right. The canvases, man, those are dope, man.
That will never be sold. All signed by Bianchi, and it just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like to have a whole canvas set signed, that's special to me.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I know he signed hollow sets and stuff like that. That's fine. His canvas set, other than the Spider-Man from Jusko, his canvas set it destroys.
Oh yeah, we talked about this before. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, other than that one Spider-Man canvas, which is so cool looking.
Mhm.
The Palumbo, I mean the Bianchi Spider-Man
Yeah, put
is
some respect on that one too.
it's awesome, right? But it's like a millimeter below the Jusko,
Yeah.
So to have like a signed set of that with that beautiful signature, that's amazing to me.
On that note, and to end up with this, I was just wondering, speaking of his autos, how do you feel like? To me, that's cool what you did because it was the canvas set. But how do you feel about when people are getting his auto on numbered stuff?
I mean, I don't know. It's
I mean, obviously to each their own. I understand that. But,
yeah.
because some people are like, if you're getting Kaleidoscope signed or Speckles, like I don't even think. Also, yeah, go ahead. What are your thoughts on it? Man?
You don't need to,
Mhm.
I guess. This is my opinion. I wouldn't do it, you know. Um
Because those cards are already special, right? Like you're adding a premium. Those canvas make sense. You added a great premium to the canvas set by getting his auto, but that makes sense. But when you're already getting a numbered card, it's already a hit. Like what else? What more do you want on?
Right. That's kind of the where I was going with that. If it's just like something where they produced a lot of them, right? Like those canvas cards, there's a lot of those out there. When it's like a Kaleidoscope out of 25 or a pink out of 75, like not only does it not need it, but if I ever saw it on the secondary, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, me neither. Correct.
It's I just unless I was getting a full auto set, I wouldn't want that to mess up my set. And so there's guys who they're like, I'll never sell this. I'll never sell that. And we say that to an extent, right? But if something happened and they were to die, and let's say their wife goes to sell it or their kids go to sell it, who's going to buy it?
Yeah.
It's there's PC and then there's like nothing's truly PC
Yeah.
because when you ghost out,
When you ghost out.
gone, dude, that shit's gone. Like,
Right.
unless you train your kids and wife, like these things have to be held for a very long time. Please
Here's the order.
respect my haunting, you know, like
Yeah.
you're like in that mindset, or you're like, these are gonna be buried with me,
Mhm.
literally
Yeah.
buried. Um, it's just it does no good, right? Like in the moment, it's cool, but as soon as like they switch up their PC, well, now you're gonna have a hard ass time because you're gonna feel like, oh, I can ask for a 5x premium on a out of 75 because it has an auto on it. And no, you can't.
No.
You
I mean,
can't.
you could ask for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You can ask for it, Lord knows I ask crazy ass prices for some of my cars.
yeah.
But hey, you can't deny people the opportunity. There might be somebody out there who wants it super bad,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, fuck it. I got the money. I'll take it.
Well, on that note, hey, don't forget to ship my Venom, man. I've been waiting for my Venom. What's going on with that?
You
Stop
don't
playing with me, Brian. We could do some trades. Stop playing, man.
we,
Don't hit me with your building that set.
I am.
I see
I
your
am.
eBay store. Stop. If I buy one of those that's up there, that just breaks up your whole set, you know?
Then do it.
Oh, I have to, but I'll break it up with the Venom. You know what I mean? Post that Venom up. I'll snatch it.
No, nobody will snatch it. I'll put it up for like 700.
No,
It'll
don't do
sit there
that.
forever.
Don't do that.
It'll sit there forever.
No, dude, but we need to do this again when we have a little bit more time. Doom this week is house sitting, so
Okay.
he wasn't able to record this week. But yeah, man, we need to have you on again. Just have a longer conversation in general. We always have fun.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but man, it was always great talking to you, Brian. I appreciate you joining me, man. Anything else you want to do? Any shout outs or anything?
You know what? Just shout out to everybody out there who's still just doing what they want to do and not what other people want them to do. That's you don't have to like the new shit, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Just because 50% of the people like something doesn't mean you have to like something,
Yeah.
right? New masterpieces, not my set.
Yeah.
Feroce Avengers, not my set.
Yeah.
Buy the shit you like. Buy the older stuff. There's a ton of good stuff out there.
Yeah, it's like to give a correlation, like you got mixed reviews, but when the new Bronco came out, you don't have
Hey,
to buy it. You don't like it, go get the vintage classic
go with the
Bronco.
old one,
Yeah.
right? You want some no power steering? Get that old Bronco, man.
Yeah. Hey, you
Or
can do a resto mod, you know? But man, I appreciate your time, Brian. Other than
Hey,
that,
thank
man,
you. Real quick,
yeah.
anyone listening, follow me on Instagram, Marvel Cards Up. I post a lot on there, just stuff that I like. Sometimes shit's for sale, sometimes it's not.
Mhm.
It's just stuff that I think is kind of cool. And I'm on Whatnot, same name. Stop by. I let shit go cheap. If it doesn't fit my sets,
Yeah, and
maybe it'll fit somebody else.
eBay's the same name, Marvel Cards
Yeah,
Up.
it's all the same name. I
Mhm.
don't do like. There's some people out there who do like they've got all these like they don't want people to know their names.
Yeah, all these burner accounts for eBay.
Exactly. I don't do that shit. It's all the same name. You got a problem, you know exactly where you can go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's about it, man. And also make sure you're following Elusive.
I appreciate it, man.
Always good shit.
Thank you, bro. We'll
All
talk
right, man.
soon, man.
All right, dude. Peace out.